it's me, Mary or Hawk. Welcome back to another video. I am going to be giving a entheogenic trip report. I suggest that if you're under the age of 18, you watch a different video. This video may not be meant for you. I suggest you watch something more age appropriate and more safe. I suggest you only do this if you're 18 or older. And again, when you do these sorts of things, make sure you are aware of what you're taking, how it might negatively impact you in certain doses. Make sure you know the dose you're taking and how it's going to affect you. Make sure you're aware of if it contraindicates any of your medications, because you don't want to have a deadly or life-threatening reaction. I don't want any of you being unsafe or having a bad time if you are to replicate what I did. So safety is first. Keep in mind setting, people around you, dose, sitter, all those things are of the utmost importance if you're going to do what I did, because I don't want any of you being unsafe. That being said, I'm going to get into what I did in hopes that this is entertaining or useful for any of you looking to replicate this. Again, I don't suggest you do, but if you are going to, at least you are aware of these safety precautions beforehand. So, that being said, what exactly did I do? What did I take? So I took this entheogenic smoke blend from Belladonna's Botanicals. I suggest you support them. I don't think they sell smoke blends anymore, but they have flying ointments and tinctures that have very similar ingredients to this. The psychoactive plants within this or the entheogens in here are belladonna leaves and roots. Again, no berries. Berries are very potent. You don't want to take the berries. The lethal dose for that is like 10 berries for an adult. So again, try sticking to the less potent parts like the leaves or the roots, dried. Again, Angel's Trumpet or Bugmansia flowers, Devil's Trumpet or Datura anoxia leaves, flowers and leaves, and then Blue Lotus petals. Those are the more psychoactive plants within this smoking blend. I took it on January 24th, 2024, and I will like to preface this by saying I am a witch and a pagan. I'm a more occultic, spiritual, new agey, spiritual type person, so keep that in mind while I give this trip report, please. Okay, where was I? Okay, so I took it January 2024. Sorry, I had to turn off notifications so they wouldn't distract me. I'm a witch and pagan, I'm a spiritual person, and I do dabble in the occult side of things, new age side of things, so keep that in mind for my framework for what I did. And I took this based on my intuition. For weeks ahead of time, I had been feeling strongly intuitively to take this smoking blend by Belladonna's Botanicals, and I did. I did in some pre-rolled cones, but you can also burn as an incense if you prefer with this sort of thing. And I'm going to list out my trip report. I had a very beautiful experience, I'd like to say. It's not like these reports that you see where people shove leaves and berries in their mouth and it's a wonder if they didn't die. I took very much caution in mind, safety in mind when I took this. So I took it at 4:11 p.m. with a small little blunt. I smoked it. I was a little coughy. I coughed a bit. Again, smoke blends can be harsh on your lungs. I had a little blurry vision at first, and I asked it to teach me a valuable lesson or something that I'm meant to experience and have insight into. I set my intention for that when I smoked this. Let me experience something that I'm meant to experience or have insight into, and when I smoked, while I was smoking it, I played the 888 plus 396 hertz frequency for abundant infinite wealth while smoking it, just to kind of give like an abundance of whatever it is I need to experience here with me. Then suddenly my lungs felt cooler, and I sprayed myself with this rose water mist from Anita Apothecary to really open up my heart center. And also I anointed myself with Belladonna's Botanicals Love Healing and Uncrossing Oil, and I anointed my chakras with it, and I felt called to labradorite and selenite, and I could feel the crystal energies a lot more potently. I felt these words come to me of transform, release, heal, rebirth, hope, health, peace, protection, intuition. Those are the words that came to me when I was smoking this, after I held the crystals. Also love and spiritual awakening, and I put on my witch hat because I felt like putting on something that really embraced my witchy side, my witchy power, and time felt slower, I will say, less go, go, go. My brain's constantly going a million miles a minute because I am neurodivergent, and I felt relaxed, and at 4:16 p.m. I felt very connected to my houseplants. Like, I could feel that they needed nutrition and more watering and more light. That is what I could feel like. Some of them needed a repot, some of them needed to have more fertilizer. Those are things that I could pick up on just simply based off smoking this. I felt connected to other living things that aren't necessarily sentient in the same way that a human or an animal is. And that I found very interesting. And at 4:18 p.m. I said I feel different and I can't pin it down. I feel crystal energetics, like the energies of crystals, and my intuition a lot better than I normally do. I often tuned it out accidentally, so I could feel it, which is a very good sign for me. And I felt ready for what the plant medicine had to offer, and I texted that to my boyfriend as well. And then at 4:19 p.m., again, I said what I said earlier about my houseplants needing nutrients, not just water. They were sick or malnourished, and that was just my insight from my philodendron Birkin, which actually needed a repot. So, yeah, it turns out it did absolutely need all of those things, and has since popped out some brilliant new variegated leaves, which I am very happy about. So I definitely say that the belladonna and the other plant medicines within the smoking blend really connected me to other living things within my care, and that I found really interesting, actually. So, yeah, I was just turning off my little ring light that was dying, but also my voice sounded different to myself. I also resisted bothering somebody who lives with me because I knew they were busy, and I said I wanted some hot chocolate too. I craved hot chocolate, which is interesting. I feel like that's kind of like the cacao type medicine, although it's cocoa at that point because it's been processed. That's speaking to me. And at 4:25, I realized that the houseplants needed coffee grounds and liquid fertilizer, so I ended up doing that for that, or at least writing it down so I knew about what I needed to do. And then at 4:30 p.m., I said, strawberry quartz makes me feel so happy and I want to cry. And then I suddenly had the realization of a welcome home feeling, a feeling of remembering and belonging, remembering who I am, or being in alignment with who I truly am. I'm different in a good way. I belong and have a place in the world. I felt like I was unplugged for a while, and I've been replugged in and amped up and revitalized with new energies for the better because of the belladonna and the other herbs that I smoked. And I said, I want to film and post a video to remind everyone that they belong, that there's a place for them in this world. I filmed it, yay. That's what I said. 4:44 is when I said I wanted, 4:44, 4:44. I said I wanted to film and post a video, and then at 4:50 I said I filmed it, yay. I hope that it reaches anyone and it inspires them. I also lit incense and prosperity candle to boost the odds of it getting out to people, because I do have a candle for that. And then 5:04 I said I felt like singing, healing and divining, or doing divination and letting my voice in song be heard after all these years of being suppressed. And then, the song Savage Daughter by, I forget, Hestia, I forget who it is, but, like, I am my mother's savage daughter, that song, it goes like that. That song is what I felt like singing. That's the song that came to my mind instantly. Say what you will about the song or the lyrics, that song just sang to me in the moment, and I just had to let it out. And, I said I should lock my block around breath work, and I may do divination today, and I did divination on the next page. And I got some runes, so I did my little rune divination on my little rune mat. So I have this little mat like this, and I got Harvest and Fehu from the Witch's runes, and Fehu from the Norse other Futhark in career and money area. And I said I am in the state to receive wealth, abundance, and security. I'm harvesting the blessings of investing myself and reaping the words so I can provide and be/give education and be educated. I'm learning to be secure, deep spiritual connection. And then I got Flight on the cusp of health and well-being and personal and spiritual. Ewas on the cusp of health and wellness and personal and spiritual as well. Wunjo and Hagalas in health and well-being, and I noted that I'm being tested and challenged to stay true to my health goals in spite of delays. So challenges, health-wise, mental or physical, but I will be enlightened and fulfilled and joyous outcome-wise, and if I stay true to myself and my goals and trust my intuition to guide me. There is a movement and flow of information bridging my health and well-being and personal and spiritual side. Perhaps it's in regards to spiritual well-being. I am making moves progress in regards to my spiritual and physical and emotional / mental health. Make strides to better my health situation. It says, like, yeah, like, we're okay if you call your boyfriend, so I called my boyfriend. That's what I got from the plant medicine. And I got, this, I forget, it's like, I forget what it's called in the witch's runes, but it looks like this, like 3 little lobes. And then it said, distant recent past, harvest, the present and waves in the future to imminent far off, because on the opposite side of this I have like a timeline thing. And so I got, so what I got essentially for the past is romance, people connecting, love, deep emotional soulmate connection. Present is blessings from investing in self and my boyfriend's relationship. In future I so deep movement, deep spiritual connection to go with the flow. So I just said that so I got essentially message wise that progress is imminent, to be prepared. I'm being told to move forward with my romantic relationship by spirit. My heart says to move in. Pendulum/spirit says I am probably correct in that assumption, and to be prepared to purge some of my belongings to make room for this transition. So that's essentially my trip report. My trip report, if to summarize it for those who are like, you've been rambling, what are you on about at this point? So essentially, as a result of smoking this belladonna, I felt a lot more intuitive, and belladonna and these other plants like angel's trumpet, devil's trumpet, and blue lotus together, they made me really feel like being spiritual, connected to spirit, connected to other living things that aren't sentient like humans and animals are. And I felt a lot more intuitively pulled to crystals. I could feel the energies a lot stronger. I also felt like I belonged in this world for once, which as a neurodivergent and autistic person is not a common experience or feeling for me. So it was a welcome change, because often I feel like I don't belong, like I'm an alien, like no one wants me here in this world. And this plant medicine really made me feel remembering who I am and in alignment with who I am, and like I belong in this world. I'm different in a good way. I have a place in this world. And although I felt unplugged from everyone, just kind of disassociated, I felt like I've been replugged into the world and reamped up and revitalized and reset for the better. So that's essentially what I got out of my belladonna and other entheogenic plant smoking experience, in addition to having felt very pulled to do divination. And so I did that, and I told you about the divination I did. I hope this was a informative experience. I think there needs to be less fear-mongering surrounding belladonna, angel's trumpet, devil's trumpet, and things of that nature. Although, yes, some of those bad reputations are deserved, especially when people take it recklessly. When you take it the way I did, it can be a very beautiful and wonderful experience when you set your intention, when you take it and then you just go where your intuition takes you. That can be a very beautiful experience, and honestly, I kind of recommend it. Like, I do recommend it if you are just very careful and aware that it doesn't contraindicate any of your medications or anything like that. If you're careful and you know what you're doing, setting, sitter, dose, people around you, all that in mind, you should have a generally good experience depending on your biochemistry. Like, I had a good experience, and I 10 out of 10 would recommend for myself. I can't say about you, but I recommend it for myself. So yeah, again, that's based on this belladonna's botanical smoke blend. I had a beautiful experience. I felt like I belong in this world, and it really made me feel reassured about who I am as a person. So with that being said, I hope this was informative or entertaining. This is Hawk or Mary signing out. Thank you for coming along with me on this part of my journey. Mwah.